What is going on, you guys? Bashtian here, and today we're going to be going over something I've been really looking forward to. So I think I finally have my list, my deck list I should say, for the Spright archetype coming out of Power of the Elements. So with Spright being one of the most popular decks and probably one of the ones I'm most excited for, I really wanted to go ahead and get a deck list out there. But not only that, guys, I did go ahead and test this out a little bit as well versus the AI first, because I didn't know what the deck did, and then of course against some players online. So I want to go ahead and show that to you guys, show myself the thought process. Now, I'm not a Spright expert by any chance. I just happen to really like the deck so far moving forward, and we'll really see how the playstyle really fits into a meta here within the next 2 weeks. So without further ado, guys, if you guys do enjoy these videos, go ahead and leave a like down below, comment down below what type of decks or type of videos you guys want to see, and hopefully I'll be able to go ahead and get that out for you guys. Subscribe for more, and let's get right into the video. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have my my YGO Pro, Def Pro, EDO Pro, Spright deck, Frog Spright deck in front of me. You guys know what I'm trying to say. In front of me, and this is the absolute sauce right here. This is actually one of the most consistent decks. You don't need Power Prosperity. It does help, but you don't need Power Prosperity, which comes in very, very clutch at times. So it's very, very nice because you have additional extenders you can go ahead and play. I wanted to play not only a quote-unquote budget ish version, mainly because my bank account does not reflect, but this is still, I'm confident, one of the better Spright I should say decks out there. I mean, it's absolutely consistent. I never break, and even if I do, I have 5 hand traps in my hand and I'm good to go for turn 2. So let's get right into it, guys. So I played 3 Ash for the hand traps, 3 Ash, 2 Ogre, 3 Imperm. That's going to be it really for the hand traps. No crossout designator needed. I personally do prefer Triple Tactics Talent over crossout designator, because if you don't have that's one specific hand trap that you're trying to counter, then crossout designator is absolutely useless. Yes, you can play just one of hand traps, but I look, if I'm going to play a hand trap, it's because I need it against my opponent, and then if I have it in my opening hand, then I don't have it in my deck. Crossout designator is a good card, don't get me wrong, but I believe that even if you get stopped halfway through, you get Ash on your Gigantic Spright, things like that, activating Triple Tactics Talent, drawing 2 cards, just gives you 2 more chances for a phenomenal extender. So that's really all the hand traps you really need, guys, besides of course Cyframe Gamma, which I do play the Emergency Teleport as well, so that comes in clutch also. For these Spright cards, I play 3 blue, 3 jets, 2 of the red, and 1 of the carrot. And I really have not want to change these ratios up at all. I think that's actually perfect ratios. Then play 3 Deep Sea Diva. I decided to go with Deep Sea Diva and the Frog variant over the Evil Twins, Life Twins, or the Nimble Beaver, just because it gives me access to Halki Fibrax, which again then pushes for another extender as well. Plus I have then a Link 2 on board, which I can use for Gigantic Spright. Yes, there are also some variants I can play some synchros in here, but I just want to go ahead and keep it simple for it, and just really use it as a way to climb and to make a 3200 attack Gigantic Spright. So anyway, 3 Swap Frog, 1 Ronin Totem, 1 Dupe Frog. We went over DD Crows. For the spells, Tactic Talent, 3 Spright Starters, 1 Call by the Grave, 3 E-Tellies, and Spright Smashers, or Spright Smashers. So I played 3 E-Telly, even though I realistically should only play 2 if you're going to be thinking about it, because 1 Gamma should be used up for the driver, and then I have 2 more Gammas, but I want to play 3 E-Telly for the event that maybe I don't have the Gamma in hand to go ahead and use as an actual hand trap, in which case I would need all 3 Gammas to use as an extender, and if I draw the driver, I draw the driver is the one of. So that's going to be it for the main deck, guys. For the extra deck, we have for the links we have Almirage, IP Masquerena, Double Elf, 1 of the Halki Fibrax, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, we have the Unicorn, and we have 1 Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax. So this is the one flex spot that can switch depending on what you want to do. I've seen Appaloosa Bow the Goddess, I've seen the Avermax, I've seen Access Code Talker. It really just depends on what potential Link 4 you want to go ahead and play. I've chosen Avermax because you can make it with IP, so it makes it unable to be destroyed by card effects. And overall, Avermax is a phenomenal card, and it'd be a really, really good beatdown monster to go ahead and have on your board as well. 1 Cat Shark for the attack boost, double of the Gigantic Spright. I really well, not really. I kind of want to potentially play a third one because it has come up every now and then, but you'll see when we get to the testing what I mean. One of the Sky Cavalry Santeria, one Totally Awesome, one Downer Magician, and then one Doubly Zeus. Yes, Toad is at 3 here in TCG, but you're going to be abusing this primarily with your Elf. You're going to be bringing back from the graveyard, things like that. Yes, you can shuffle it back, but you're not playing a Paleozoic deck where everything is going to be Aqua Monsters. You're not playing just a Frog deck where everything's going to be Aqua Monsters. So as far as making this, you can really only make it with the swap in the Ronin Totem package, which really only gives you maybe 2, potentially 3, maybe 4 ways to go ahead and get to it. If you get lucky, that's if you're summoning back your swaps with the Spright Elf, and a lot of luck. So I really don't think that's necessary. As far as the side deck, I'm still testing with these, all the other cards that I'm testing with as well, so you guys get a little bit of a glimpse of what my mind process goes through. But without further ado, guys, go ahead and get into the actual testing portion of the video where we go over my thought process for the deck itself. Alright guys, so we're here at the testing number 1. So I'm still learning the deck at this point. It's pretty early on in my testing of this specific build, but I want to go ahead and show you guys essentially what the deck can do as far as playing around hand traps, things like that. So go ahead and let this play out. I'm going to go ahead and normal summon the Rodent Toad, that way I have a level 2 on the board, and it gets ashed unfortunately as far as the Spright Blue, because I would have gone clean off if that went through. Understandable. We're going to go ahead and normal summon, use those 2 to exceed the Gigantic Spright, activate Spright's effect, which protects us from the Nibiru, summon out the Swap Frogs, and Ronin Totem, then use those 2 to summon Spright Elf, which then puts the Swap Frog and Ronin Totem in the graveyard as well. And then you're going to actually summon back the Swap Frog again with the Spright Elf, that lets you activate the Swap Frog again, which then continues to go off into your combo, things like that. So we're ending with the most basic board that Spright can do, which is double Totally Awesome with the hand traps as well. So that's going to be probably the most basic board that Spright can actually do, which may seem a little bit underwhelming if you have like a slightly bigger monster, but honestly this goes a long way. So we're going to go ahead and let this play out. I'm going to go ahead and activate during the standby phase, summon Dupe Frog. He has a second Ash, which is understandable. I mean, it happens. But then he's going to go ahead and activate Long Yuan. We're going to go ahead and negate with Toad. And I noticed I did not bring back Totally Awesome. That was unfortunate because the Spright Elf says that I can only bring back an Xyz monster or Link 2 monster if my opponent controls a monster. So that was a little bit unfortunate. My opponent did not control a monster, which I guess was well played, which means I then had to go to a different line of play. Then I go ahead and try to summon out the Gigantic Spright. It gets met with a Chalice, which is unfortunate. I didn't really want to negate it though, because it really didn't make any sense. I would have had to activate Spright Care to tribute my Gigantic Spright to negate, so it wouldn't have made any sense. Instead, I just go ahead and set my Call by the Grave and then punch for game. Now, opponent's gonna go ahead and get lucky here and draw a Sword Soul card, which then the Long Yuan can go ahead and pitch, summon out the Baron, Long Yuan burn, then get rid of my Gigantic Sprites, beat over the Long Yuan. So you might have wondered why I didn't activate Infinite Impermanence to at least get rid of the negation. Yeah, I mean, it's something I could have definitely done. But I wanted to see if I could hold off in case something happened maybe down the line. Maybe there was another way I could go ahead and bait it out. So we ended up drawing into something really absolutely broken in this particular point in the duel. I don't think there was any, so I could have still summoned out the Swap Frog at this moment to go ahead and try to bait it out, but it wasn't really necessary because it's normal summon Deep Sea Diva, attempt to negate with the Baron, and then we go ahead and imperm that. This is why you need to make sure you know what you're negating when you're going to be playing against the Spright archetype. So you should always assume if you're going up against Sprites that your opponent has an extender, a potential way to go ahead and get more monsters on board. So you really got to hit the key points there. So hitting like the Gigantic Spright or Spright Elf are really big as well. God, that's a lot better. So anyway, so hitting the Gigantic Spright or the Spright Elf are going to be huge in letting you at least slow down the Spright onslaught. But ever since we get here, it's just almost pretty much game at this point. Let's get another extender. Now level 2, we go into Nightmare. Unicorn, get rid of that, and then just punch for game from there. So for the next one, guys, we're playing what's going to be probably one of my more favorite decks coming out in the near future. It's going to be Mr. Rune. It just seems like just the type of deck that I tend to enjoy, which is just cancers, you know, banish your opponent's entire deck. It just seems like a lot of fun, but it's a Sky Striker variant, which I actually was talking about earlier a few months ago on the channel. If you guys have not checked that out, go ahead and do so, por favor, and let's get right into it. So, we're going to normal summon the Swap Frog, gets met with the Ash. I think it's just the Ash Magnet at this point. But this is where we go off. Go blue, search Jet, summon Jet, search Starter, go Gigantic Sprite. Summon out the Swap Frog from our deck. Swap Frog effect again. And then we go ahead and Gigantic Elf, summon back the Swap Frog. Send another Swap Frog. So I'm really just fueling my graveyard with Swap Frogs for future summons as well. So what I choose to do is choose to end on this, which gets me a Spright starter. So I already have a Spell Trap negation with Totally Awesome. I already have a Monster negation with the red, which I would have to then go ahead and tribute the Jet. It was a misplacement here. I should have put the Spright red over under the Spright Elf, because whatever the Spright Elf is pointing to, a Spright Elf cannot be targeted by your opponent, which is absolutely crucial. That's definitely why you want to go ahead and make Totally Awesome right there, so it can't get impermed or, you know, some other nonsense. So it's gonna go ahead and let it play out. I stand by face, activate to summon out the Dupe Frog, and then he I forgot what this one does. Target spell trap your opponent controls, then manage top cards of the deck. Yeah, that's fine. He tried to target this to banish, but I just want to go ahead and summon out my my carrot. So now I have a monster spell and a Omni Negate on board. Absolutely insane. And then he go ahead and summons out Zeke, targeting, I don't even know at this point, but I'm gonna go ahead and negate. And then he has the Forbidden Chalice Mr. Rune card, which is really cool. So then he goes ahead, tries to negate my red, and then I negate his spell with the carrot by tributing the red. So just a whole bunch of negations going back and forth, really cool. Summons out the Kagari. I have to go ahead and get rid of that. I mean, I can't let Kagari go off. And then he summons out the brand new card that was just recently released. Was this the Frecky, the Runic Fangs? I honestly did not know that it was a Mr. Rune card. I guess I didn't read it, or unless they changed it to Runic. Yeah, I don't even know. But anyway, he summons Frecky, the Runic Fangs, and essentially it doesn't really matter what this card does, because I have way too much advantage at this point, like way too much. Now what I should have done, and I do see my mistake there, is I tributed off the Dupe Frog, I believe, for my Totally Awesome negate. What I should have done was activate Totally Awesome to negate, and then bring it back with Spright Elf the second he summons anything else. So I have another 2200 attack Omni Negate as well on board. So I want to go ahead and point that out as well. Always make sure you tribute Totally Awesome. Again, I was just trying to learn a deck at this point, but I thought is definitely key as far as learning from your mistakes, you know? Alright guys, so the last one we're going to be showing us today is going to be the Spright Frog versus the Phantom Knights. So we'll go ahead and play it off from here. So essentially what's gonna happen is you're gonna see both of us misplay quite a bit, quite significantly, if I remember correctly. But like I said, it's a good teaching moment for all of us as well, so definitely go ahead and pay attention to the interactions. First things first, I've never seen a Phantom Knight player do T formation, so that was interesting. I'm pretty sure just what he had in his hand. So again, the Swap Frog gets ashed, which, yes, it can be a good move if your opponent doesn't have an extender. But again, like I said before, guys, you should always assume Spright has extenders in their hand. So I definitely disagree with ashing the Swap Frog, because if they have any extender, they can just go ahead and go make Gigantic Sprite, and then activate Gigantic Sprite to summon out another Swap Frog, and then you cooked from there. So, you know, really just be careful with what you are hand trapping. So I'm going to go ahead and activate Triple Text Challenge. Like I said, draw 2 cards, gets me Imperm and an E-Telly, again, additional extender. So we're going to go off with E-Telly. Make Spright Elf effect, bring back Swap Frog, activate Swap Frog effect again, then continue to just go off from there. Again, Triple Tactics Talent is so clutch. And honestly, I don't know why I would play Cross the Designator instead. That's my personal opinion. So I believe I tried to, I wanted to go ahead and go into the Downer Magician Zeus, and I think I wasn't able to because I tried to activate Gigantic Spright before, which makes perfect sense. I mean, understandable. So we're gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and play out. So I tried to Ash whatever the hell he's doing, right? And then he chains Crossout Designator, to which I want to go ahead and chain Spright Elf, only because I know that BA needs its monster effect, so I want to go ahead and negate whatever he has with Spright Red, but I don't want to tribute out my Sky Cavalry or my Spright Elf, so I go ahead and summon out a Spright Blue as well, which is going to give me additional search, yes, but is also a main tribute target for the Spright Red also. So yeah, this is the big thing as well. I mean, if you're going to have playing Crossout Designator is the big reason why I'm not a big fan of playing it, because he only played one Ash. I'm assuming he only played one Ash in his deck, and that's the reason why he banished the Silent Boots. Unless there's something about PKBA that I'm just missing. But Crossout Designator is only really good if you don't hard draw the hand trap you're trying to protect yourself against. So that's really the issue that I'm seeing with that one specific card, is that I don't want to play one of hand traps because it doesn't seem beneficial to myself. And then from here I just go ahead and go clean off essentially, and he surrenders. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the testing, guys. But I really just want to go ahead and emphasize why I prefer Triple Tactics Talents over playing the Crossout Designator. Potentially drawing into an additional extender is huge, and it's also a big reason why you don't really need Pot of Prosperity. I mean, realistically, the Pot of Prosperities are I took out the Pot of Prosperities for emergency teleports, and I made sure I put Cyframe Gamma in the deck, which is still a phenomenal hand trap to go ahead and use in the event you're going second. When your opponent makes a Gigantic Spright, you go ahead and that's when you go ahead and hit the Gamma, or you can still do it on a normal summon that way, because this deck is normal summon reliant as well. If you guys have not seen the before you buy video for my Sprites, go ahead and check it out. It should be in the top right hand corner, top left hand corner at some points throughout the video, so definitely go ahead and check that out as well. But if you guys have any questions regarding the Spright deck at all, again, we're all here to learn together. I want it to be like a community style setting, so if you guys have any questions, go ahead and post them down below, and let's all help each other out learn this deck. Look, if you're not going to be playing the deck, more power to you, that's perfectly fine. But if you are going to be playing the deck, okay, you need to learn what the counters are for the meta. If you're not playing a deck, you need to learn how to counter this deck as well. Anyone who's going to be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In the month of August and later on should understand how the deck works at least, just so that you don't lose to it due to lack of knowledge, which happens quite a bit. It's happened to me multiple times. Happened to me last week. I was playing against ninjas, and I was like, what did ninjas do? I'm pretty sure you got a game on me, because I was just so shocked that he kept ninjutsu arting, and I didn't know that ninjas had an int archetype Pot of Greed, which is absolutely insane, but neither here nor there. So without further ado, guys, if you guys did enjoy the video, go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below, or go ahead and let me know by smashing the like button, subscribe for more video, guys. I'm going to be here as often as I can, bring you guys the Power of the Elements content that you guys need and you guys want. But without further ado, guys, go ahead and let me know what you guys want to see next in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.